points east. Heroin, opioids, huge issue there. Huge issue. In fact, that number you see there, that's Vital Statistics in Frankfurt, it's about 2 years behind. But you look at that number, that was 2017, 1565 overdosed on heroin or some type of opioid. Either way, that tells you that that is almost double what our vehicle wrecks claim. And we work so hard to get those numbers down, but ever since horse and buggy, vehicle wrecks has been our #1 contributor of accidental death until now. And it's not even close. It's like double what we have. So this all begins somewhere. With heroin itself, here's what happens, okay? So loose base heroin you buy from a dealer isn't milligram for milligram the same as what a doctor would prescribe you for therapeutic reasons. So you get your loose base heroin from your dealer, oftentimes with a spoon and a heat source and maybe some backwater or distilled water. Mix it up, and then you inject it. As soon as it's injected, it's converted into morphine in your brain, and your brain naturally makes its own morphine. It's called endorphins. You heard people who run a lot. Believe me, that's not me. But those people who do, it hurts for about the first mile or so, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like, hey, I can just run a friggin' marathon, right? Endorphins help you out. Stressful moments, you guys know this? That's what it does. So our brains have this receptor in our brain that attaches to essentially get you high, to get you that point, right? To get you over that hurdle. That's what we have. Heroin itself, when it's injected, and I'm sorry, I majored in psychology, so I'm kind of a nerd in this area. So instead of going to deal with crazy people at a high rate of pay, I decided to deal with them at a low rate of pay. So anyway, so you have all these neurotransmitters in your brain: dopamine, serotonin, GABA, norepinephrine, all this stuff that communicates, right? It's like electricity. You got to connect, have a full circuit. All right. So this right here, assume this is your opioid receptor, and that accepts endorphins, and we talked about that your brain naturally makes to help you through that stressful, but morphine mimics endorphins. All right, so it falls into place there. Now you got a connection, and it fires off something for you, right? So at that point, you either overdose and die, or you just feel, hey, flaccid and great, right? And that's where that happens. Now, if, and unfortunately, some of our dealers are cutting something with it now, because heroin's been around forever, has it not? It has. But why is it now you're seeing so many people die? Wasn't that way in the 60s, was it? No, now they're adding synthetic to it. Synthetic. Now you have fentanyl and carfentanil. I'll show you what that looks like. But this right here, if you know somebody who's an addict to heroin or any type of opioids, this is naloxone or Narcan. This will reverse. It's called an opioid reversal. This will save your life. This will save your life. We have it. Unfortunately, we're touching things. And if our partner falls out, we can administer this and save their life. This saves a lot of people's life. All this does, this is a stronger agonist to this site. Basically, when we insert this up in the nasal cavity, it takes over and it will knock this out of the way and set its place to keep it from coming back connected. So essentially, it tricks your brain to think there is no heroin or morphine in your brain. That's all it does. So this is a stronger affinity to that site, which ultimately saves your life. You guys are entitled to that if you want it, naloxone or Narcan, if you know a family member. This right here is fentanyl. That is what it looks like. It is synthetic. It is 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine alone. And so obviously that now is taking place of just heroin itself. They're cutting that with it because they're trying to get you the greatest high possible. Because dealers are competing. They're competing. Now, our methamphetamine, that operates on our dopamine principle. Dopamine is that one of those neurotransmitters that's responsible for all your sinful desires. It is gambling, it is porno, it is adultery, it's all that, right? Rewarding. Just to put this in perspective, when you have sex, you get a dopamine reward about 200%. 200%. Shocking to me that nicotine is 225%. But it is. So if you think about that, cocaine operates on dopamine as well. It's 340. Methamphetamine is almost 1,200%. I know. Yeah. So that does put a different perspective. I told my wife that. I said, "Is that why in the videos you see them, they roll over and they start smoking?" That's 425%. I'm just gonna kill all that, okay? So anyway, she wouldn't let me smoke in the house. But anyway. back to the heroin, fentanyl, it's morphine. Morphine, 50 to 100 times more potent. Dealers are competing. They're going to cut this in there because, unfortunately, this is what we hear. Guys, every so often, a dealer will put either a little bit more than they should of that in the loose base heroin, or they will add carfentanil. Carfentanil is the strongest known opioid to man. It is 10,000 times more potent than morphine alone. And it is here. It is in Kentucky. It's in every state. This small amount you see in this glove, it's a nitro glove. We can't use latex anymore. Nitro glove will do that to an elephant. Now, you don't see a whole lot. Yeah, it's there. It's, of course, synthetic. My brother, he's a veterinarian in California. He deals with large animals. And they have some of that, but yes, that small amount will do that to an elephant to sedate them, or if they're doing dental work or something like that. But about 3 to 4 grains on the size of salt of carfentanil will kill you. That easy. Yes, this right here will reverse carfentanil. That still is a stronger agonist to it. Will save your life. That's why we have it. There is something called acrylfentanyl that this does not work on, and it is here in Kentucky as well. Our labs are testing. So, we know that's dangerous, we know it's scary, it's bad, right? Every drug that we test in Kentucky is tainted with fentanyl. Not just heroin. Methamphetamine, crystal meth now, has fentanyl in it. You're probably like, wait a minute. We're talking about dopamine and we're talking about our opioid receptors. So why is methamphetamine, crystal meth got it? It's dual addiction, guys. Dual addiction. They want to keep you addicted. So if you can kick the habit with the dopamine, if that doesn't, and there's people that truly have, now we got something working on the back end. Now we got you addicted to opioids. That's what they're doing. First year or so when we were testing meth and other cocaine, all these products, and it's showing traces of fentanyl, it was like, this got to be dirty lab work. Basically they were prepping at the cartels. A lot of this, what we're finding, is coming from Mexico. It's been processed, moved out of the way. We thought maybe they're now dealing with opioids. Moved it out of the way, back to crystal meth. Just start cycling this, right? No, it's by design. Come to find out, it's keep you dual addicted to something, and you don't even know it's there. You don't even know it's there. So some of these dealers will add either this right here or too much of the fentanyl to purposely kill you. Why is that? Well, it's proven that every so often, about once every 8 months, if you kill one of your people off, you're going to kill 4 or 5 off the other dealer to come to you now, because they know you're not willing to skin them. That's sad. That is sad. That is sad. Is that murderous, or is that genius marketing? I mean, it's scary, right? Go look at some of your ERs. Go outside, either Louisville, maybe Lexington, I haven't heard, but Nashville, some of your big areas, you'll see people sitting around the ER doors that just do not fit in. It's a buddy system. They know the real implications and they know the cost. And it's a buddy system. They watch. The other guy will inject. If they fall out, they're beating on the ER doors and they're going to try to revive them Narcan. Sad. That's where we're at, guys. That is where we're at. So the broader question is, how do we even get here? How do we get here? It starts somewhere.
So my name is Forrest Quill, and I'm 24 years old. I'm raised in Kentucky.
This is a Kentucky guy, by the way.
And so going through school, like I said, I surrounded myself with kids who have done whatever they wanted to do. They didn't listen to authority. They got in trouble, and then we cussed. We goofed off. We thought we were somebody bad. We were class clowns, always seeking attention, always seeking the spotlight. And before you know it, my friends, they started dipping, they started smoking, they started drinking. And I didn't wake up one day with a thought that said, hey, one day I'm going to smoke a cigarette. One day I'm going to dip my first dip. One day I'm going to drink my first beer. It didn't happen like that. I was introduced to my first addictions through my friends. Week after week after them smoking in front of me, I was bored. Didn't have anything to do. It was just me and my friends, and they were smoking in a big cheap circle. We were just blowing smoke. Looked like they were having the greatest time of their life. And on that day, they invited me over. Come on, man. Come on, man. And that day, I decided, I'm going to try it one time. Just one time, that's it. I'm just going to try it one time. I'm bored, there's nothing to do, why not? And so that day, I stepped across the moral boundary that I had established. I stepped over a line in my conscience, and I smoked it. So the next weekend when my friends are smoking marijuana and they're like, hey, Forrest, hit this, I no longer had a line drawn out that said I'll never do that. I no longer had a moral standard that said I will not associate myself with that. Now it's like, well, I've done it once. All right, man. So my 18th birthday comes, I wake up, I'm in jail. Wake up, I'm in jail. I don't know what's going on, I don't remember anything. And so I start beating on the window in the dark and by. He said, what are you doing? I said, man, I don't remember nothing, man. I was out with my friends, I just woke up, and I called my parents, and he said, you might as well buckle up because you're about to take a ride. I said, what do you mean? He said, you and your buddies robbed the store last night. So at 18-year-old, I got 2 years in jail. No probation, no get out of jail early, you serve. Day for day, you serve. I was surrounded by rapists, I was surrounded by murderers, I was surrounded by people who manufacture methamphetamine, I was surrounded by drug dealers. 2 years of my life at 18 years old. So this time I'm in the jail, and I'm in there, and I got a loud mouth, you know what I mean? I'm always running my mouth, I'm always trying to prove myself. And a guy comes in one day, he says, you want to get high? Yeah, I want to get high, man. I'm in jail, man, come on. And so he takes me into the bathroom, and he begins to pull something out of his sock. He unravels it in his hand, and I look down, and he's got some dope in one hand, and I look in his other hand, and he's got some needles. And he says, listen to me. You're in jail. Try it one time. Just one time. Come on. So I got high. I stepped across another line. I stepped over another standard. At 22 years old in my life. You know where I am? I'm sitting on the couch, sticking a needle in my arm. 30, 50 pounds a day. Jumping, selling my body. Don't care. I hated myself. I was so miserable. I was waiting on death every single day of the day. That's where I was at. Checked into a rehab and I got evaluated, and this time I'm bad on drugs. I'm cocaine, heroin, bath salts, synthetic marijuana, just really bad. I could never quit because I would quit everything, but I would never quit smoking marijuana. I would quit everything, but I just can't give up the marijuana. And so that would lead me back into everything, every single time. If you do not want to be like the person or the people that you surround yourself with, if you don't want their habits, if you don't want their addictions, then don't allow them to influence your life. Look at the decisions that you're making today. Where are they taking you? You can't have a dream and a goal set for yourself and think that one day you're going to start striving for it. One of these days I'm just going to pop up and I'm going to become that. You have to start where you are before you can get to where you want to be. You have to start where you are today. Today is determining where you're going to go tomorrow. So make sure that you're striving today to become who you want to be.
Show me